All right, my name is Zaid, and this is going to be my option A assignment, which I'm going to be analyzing the film from our third module, Casablanca. There's a few things that I picked up on watching this movie the second and third time around that I didn't really catch the first time, and some things that I also, I guess, assessed incorrectly the first time around. Um, Now, this scene was really intriguing to me. Uh, it gives our character, Rick Blaine, it really idealizes his state of mind, and the cinematic language to us it's portraying is, how he feels emotionally. It's a really dark and dreary scene. He's drinking alone, and also Sam. Uh, who's also, we know that he's a loyal friend. He's been with Rick probably from the start. They're two expats from the United States. Uh, we really don't know why they came to Europe and then down to Morocco. It's really ambiguous, but we know something shady probably happened in order that for them to leave and ditch all that. Uh, so again, in this bar scene, now we really don't know the reason why Rick is so upset, especially in the beginning scene when Sam is playing, I guess, their song, and he's so adamant that Sam doesn't play that song. And he rushes out, and he's just completely incensed, and this gives us a little idea of how that came about, and I guess the backstory or the story within the story. Uh, Now, up until this point, the filmmaker has kind of gone in a chronological order, just like the second movie you watched, Stagecoach, where everything is in complete logical order from beginning to end. And this scene right here kind of gives us the backstory of why Rick is so cynical now and why he's so pessimistic about everything. I guess these are the good times. Uh, back when he was in love with Ilsa. We see Rick for the first time. He's smiling for the first time, which is really unusual up until this point. The lighting has changed. Uh, Everything has changed. Their attitudes towards life, I guess. He's looking up in the sky and he's just uh, kind of like optimistic about the future. And all the while, war is raging all around him. I mean, they're in the middle of World War II. Nazi Germany is knocking right on the door of Paris, and they're about to invade. Uh, Now, Rick and Ilsa, I would say, are both quintessential round characters. That is to say that they're really complicated. Uh, Rick, for example, his character changes so much from the beginning to the middle to the end. And uh, one thing definitely remains constant, and that is Rick is a noble gentleman. He definitely has altruistic traits to his personality, uh, as evident by the couple that quote unquote gets lucky at the roulette table, and that's all at his expense. And that's his empathetic side. Even though he is, portraying this cynical and pessimistic facade from the outside, on the inside, he's a moral and virtuous character. We can definitely tell that he's also heartbroken, and it's all because of Ilsa and basically what happened there. So I'm gonna kind of skip to uh, another end here, and this is another scene. This is can't underscore enough how much this scene means to the entire movie. Uh, this is the whole reason Rick is so upset. Uh, he was basically dumped at the train station, and he never really knows why. And there's Sam, of course, all loyal Sam. They're both good friends. Uh, yeah, one thing I found really interesting is the third time I watched it is that ink, rubbing off. I know the director didn't just add that in by coincidence. That definitely is foreshadowing, his past love with Ilsa kind of wiping away off the slate of history. And also, look at the trench coats and the hats. They're dripping with water. Now they get on the train and they're completely dry. So I just found that so hilarious. I couldn't believe it the first time I noticed that. So now we have an idea of why Rick is so jilted and why he's so depressed and heartbroken. Uh, and it's really all because Ilsa left him hanging high and dry, so to speak, at the train station. And again, it was raining. Some of the most significant times in his life are occur when it's raining. So that is a little more, I guess, cinematic language telling us, that it's a dark and dreary and rainy scene, and it's really emotional. Rain kind of evokes a little bit of emotion within the characters. So I'm going to go ahead and forward to the final scene. All right, now this is the ending scene. This is a classic scene. I absolutely loved watching it, and there's a few things that I noticed here that I was actually wrong about in my blog. In studying more about the genre film noir, I came to realize that this movie really has nothing to do with that genre. There are, I guess, a few elements. It's kind of, I guess, a little cynical, but maybe the lighting in the movie is a little darker. But other than that, this is nothing more than a melodramatic, drama-filled love story. And another thing I picked up on was Ilsa. Uh, when I first watched it, I kind of got the feeling that she was this maybe like femme fatale character, and she was kind of seducing Rick into getting what she wanted. Uh, and maybe perhaps she knew that she was married the whole time, but that's not true. That's not true at all. We could see that she's torn between her husband Victor and Rick. She truly loves Rick. I mean, you could see the tear in her eye, but that really is telling about the character and her state of mind, just being torn between these two guys. Usually, in movies, that we have a setup, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the middle would be like a rising action to the climax. And then we have a resolution, which is going to basically tie up all the loose ends, and the story is going to end. But this isn't typical of any type of Hollywood story where the hero, uh, you know, he gets the girl and they ride off into the sunset together. No, that's definitely not what happens here. And for the second time, Rick is left, you know, in the rain, and he sees his love going off with another man. And you can see Ilsa is crying here. She's definitely conflicted. Uh, and, this is a real telling story about Renault, the captain who's a part of Vichy France, which in many respects after World War II, they were seen as traitors to their own country of France. Uh, they're actually kind of collaborators with the German war machine, uh, and another thing I got wrong was, I thought that Rick was kind of like an anti-hero in this movie, and that's definitely not the case. Rick is not a hero nor an anti-hero. He's not an unscrupulous character. Renault is probably closer to that. And I mean, the lengths that Rick is willing to go to make sure Ilsa gets away. I mean, look at that. He's willing to murder a man to make sure that Ilsa gets away. I mean, you got to say you got to be pretty in love to be to do that. I mean, that's pretty crazy if you ask me. But you know, Renault actually makes a complete about face here. He's kind of a corrupt character, and he's not exactly a scrupulous character himself. But he definitely changes his way, and he betrays the Germans, and this says it all. He's drinking his Vichy water, and he sort of makes a decision right here that he's going to fight the good fight against the German. He you know tosses it in the trash, chucks it away, uh, and off the two lovers go. And there really is no resolution here. There's no resolution whatsoever. Again, Rick is left. We don't know if they're going to meet up again. Perhaps they will in the future, but for now, uh, these two are going to make friends, and you know, Rick is left to pick up all the pieces and kind of start over, and he's doing his own thing. But now he understands, Ilsa, the motives behind all her actions before, and maybe now he's not so, upset and depressed over everything. Uh, and Renault makes a complete turnaround from what we saw in the beginning, and that's just a great ending. And again, unlike anything you'd ever see before in a Hollywood film. Uh, so I guess that's my assessment on Casablanca after watching it a few times and picking up on some conflicts and the obstacles and the setup and the backstory uh, and the story within the plot. And I came away with a lot more information than I had from the first time that I watched it, that's for sure. So that's about it. Thanks for listening.